So we got the movie My Love Will Make You Disappear as a romance comedy movie releasing in theaters internationally as well just in time for the spring rainy season. It's a studio that brought to us the amazing movie Hello Love Again that was released a couple of months ago around the Thanksgiving November holiday season. It's made with Filipino actors and directors and crew members and also filmed over there as well. Sari, which is a beautiful and perfect girl, and yes she is, she has been cursed ever since she was a child, and that curse is if she ever falls in love with a guy or she kisses him, he disappears. However, she meets Jolo, a handsome stranger that literally runs into her arms, especially in the trailer or the opening cinematics of the movie, but it could be wrong place at the wrong time, especially for this type of romance. Jolo later on learns about this curse. He's like, is this real? What can I know about it? So he starts trying to treat her as a good friend to make her fall in love with him so he can disappear without a trace. So begs the question, is the curse actually real? Is he going to disappear? Will they be friends? Or will they actually fall in love? Find out as we talk about it. Like I told you earlier, this is the same studio that brought to us Hello Love Again, which when I saw that movie in theaters, I absolutely fell in love with it. Link below for that review. In summary, I said that movie was not just the best of the year, but also my whole life. It really resonated and was felt grounded in terms of the characters and situations. So I was excited to see what GMA Pictures or Star Cinema would release internationally in theaters, and I was excited for this. I think the first time I heard about this movie was December. I saw a photo on their Instagram about her and like her phone, and she had like earphones and stuff. It was like nighttime. I'll see if I can put a picture on screen for you to show right now. And it was said that My Love Will Make You Disappear. And I was like, dude, this is exciting. Their next movie after Hello Love Again. Like, I'm not trying to hype it up, but I was very much interested to see what they would come out. And I'm glad they moved the release date. If you didn't know, I guess they were planned to be releasing Valentine's Day. And this would have been perfect for Valentine's Day. But I'm glad why they pushed the release date was because Valentine's Day was so convoluted. You had movies like Hard Eyes, which was amazing. Captain America, which was from Marvel, even though it wasn't that great. You also had other indie movies such as The Gorge on Apple TV Plus, not to mention Love Ya Pod that came out literally a week before, or Dragon from Hollywood, which literally came out around that time. So I'm glad they moved the release date. So before we talk about this review, I will have to let you know that if you look at me, I'm half Filipino, I'm half Latino. My mother's from Philippines, my dad's from Mexico. I do know some of the words and the food, but I barely know anything about the culture. I've never traveled over there to Philippines, and the reason why I'm telling you this is because before YouTube, I wanted to become a marriage counselor. So I was going to school to get my psychology degree, but I quit because YouTube is my passion. The reason why I'm saying this is because romance gets stigmatized, especially guys like us. But dude, if you're talking about romance, of course the guy's gonna want it too. If I see a girl looking at me at Target, at Starbucks, at the mall, of course I'm gonna say hi, try to get her to be my girlfriend or wife. That's what I want at the end of the day. I will be critical about romance movies, of course, like I always do, but that's always a disclaimer I have to tell you up front. I want romance to succeed, but I will not shy away from criticism or just like negativity, although I will do it in a respectful manner. So let's talk about this movie. Sari, like I told you before, she was cursed at an earlier age. She lives with a neighborhood of amazing people in something they call the Tahanan homes owned by this grandmother. When her world gets completely torn upside down, when she is longing for romance, she wants that, Jolo literally runs into her life just a little bit only to come back later. She's a great character and she's also a great actor. She's adorable yet relatable, perfect and beautiful and nuanced in terms of her acting, but the way she is, her clothes are still like normalized. I mean, yeah, they look great, but they're not like Gucci brand or anything. Her neighbors are awesome and they also care for this girl, and she lives like in a small home, which is very relatable and grounded in terms of Filipino culture, at least from what I can see from the movie. You gotta remember that Hello Love Again was kind of filmed in Canada, so totally different feel and feeling. This one was filmed in Philippines. I live in Chicago, so I do understand that nuance because I basically live not in a big house. I mean, anything, I have this room and like the kitchen, but still I'm not there in terms of my life yet, so I do understand why the Filipino audience would gravitate towards liking of this movie and this character. Jolo is the grandson of the grandmother that owns the Tahanan homes, and without any spoilers, he comes to the homes to try to do some work, but also there's things happen in the movie that makes him have to come to this. So if you've seen from the trailers, he knows about the curse. And he's like, you know what? Literally in the beginning of the movie, he did not want anything to do with Sari. If anything, he like scolded her. He's like, I don't like you. You need to get out of here. Don't bring me down into your miserable life. And he actually makes her cry. I'm like, oh my God, that's so sad. But still, he's literally at his worst when they both meet. So that begs the question, do they have chemistry? They absolutely do. The way she looks at him when she's close to him, I don't know if it's good acting or the way they actually start to like each other other in real life, you can't deny they do have something going on there, especially since they're both attractive. And the guy, I like his hairstyle, no homo. And she looks at him with his big, beautiful eyes. She's like, and she's always on the right. I don't know if you ever noticed that. In the marketing material and the scenes, she's mostly on the right. Yeah, she's on the left, but I noticed that on my second watch through because I watched it twice. She's on the right, which is cool. And plus, they look like everyday, grounded, relatable characters. He's literally at his worst. If you really want to know, and this is not spoilerish, he got left out the altar. He just lost his job. He's drowning in debt. You know, I don't even think he works. When I said he lost his job, he owns a bar. So he's really struggling in life, which that's the last thing you think you're gonna find is love. So I can see myself in terms of that guy. Like losing your job, losing like owing a lot of people money is just like not good. And plus he was gonna get married to this other girl. And yeah, she was gorgeous and perfect, but still she left him. You know that quote they say in life, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Literally the second time they meet, he's literally about to do something very tragic and she stops him. In the beginning of the movie, he looks like a beast, but then he transformed into like the so-called Prince Charming. So that's why I really liked it, because she literally met him at his worst. And the way they continue after that is awesome, because you're already at the worst. There's nothing other than that just to go up. I've seen countless romance movies and read countless romance novels on my life. If you've been on this channel for me for a while, two things. First, of course, I love you and I thank you and I appreciate you. The first 10 or 20 minutes of this movie, I didn't like. I was like, oh, this is kind of boring, and I'm sorry to say that, but then after that, I really started to fall in love with it. I wouldn't say it follows other formulaic or similar tropes as other romance movies. I mean, yeah, sometimes it could be a little bit predictable, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I never got the sense that things can go bad. Like, the movie felt like it always was holding my hand. Like, no matter what we go through in this journey, they're gonna end up together, you know? So it never had that stakes. I mean, I did like the curse aspect of it. It created a bit of nuance and creativeness towards the romance aspect of the movie, but still it was predictable. I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but I mean it's good predictable. I mean, you know what you're getting. They tout it as a comedy movie. Even some of the interviews, they say comedy, comedy, so we know it's played for laughs. But I'm just being honest with you, it could be predictable. Like, you know it's gonna be okay. I've never been to Philippines. I've only been to New York, Texas, and Mexico, but based on the comments that I've seen from social media is that they really like the cinematography. And one thing I do want to talk about is it was filmed in Philippines and they use a certain scenery multiple times. For other viewers, it could be a little bit repetitive, and the thing that I'm talking about is the crosswalk. There's like a river in the middle, there's like two crosswalks, and there's like crosswakes go to the other side, and there's like buildings and trees, and it looks amazing. I'll see if I can find a picture for you to show on screen right now. But the reason why I bring this up is because they use that kind of creatively. They've also used that multiple times, probably just to save on filming to like traveling. But the reason why I like it is because you see them in the nighttime, you see them during the daytime in this crosswalk with the pond, but also during like the raining season. So nighttime, daytime, nighttime raining, daytime raining. So I'm like, okay, cool. That is a nice creative take. Now, it might not be creative to some people, but for me, it's fine because it's not about what you could get. And I'm paraphrasing here. It's about what you use of what you got. So I don't know if you ever watched Step Up 2, The Streets, which is a movie long ago. They use literally what they have in terms of it's raining. They use the dance floor and everything. So to them, they probably use this to the max of its ability. But the way they used it, like they filmed in different times of day, which is pretty cool because sometimes it's happy, sometimes it's sad, sometimes you need that rain to feel like, oh my god, this is like a romance movie to its fullest. So I thought it was pretty cool. Although a lot of audiences will find it to be repetitive because they're probably just looking at the same thing. But to me, it wasn't, because it's about how you use of what you got. So to me, I was like, dude, this is awesome because it feels so like familiar to us. Oh, we saw that already, but it looks a little bit different. You know, maybe it could be a different like side of the crosswalk or a different time of day. So that's why I really liked them. I'm like, oh, that's awesome, because for us humans, I always like to go to the same places, you know, TGI Fridays, Cheesecake Factory, the movies, whatever, you know, or the gym. So to us, it feels familiar, right? So I'm like, that's awesome. And that's their place. You know, that's that couple's place. Every couple has their special place. Like Silent Hill with James Sunderland. You know, he goes to Silent, I know that's like a whole different like topic, but he goes to Silent Hill because Mary says that's their place. And by the way, let's talk about the music for a second. The main song of this theme movie is called Dila from My Love Will Make You Disappear, and I loved it. There's two versions of it. It's a slowed preview version, but also a high beat, I don't want to say techno version, but normal version, and I thought it fit the storyline perfectly. When I first started hearing it on Instagram, I didn't like it, but then I started hearing it more and started opening up to it because the movie release was getting closer. I fell in love with this movie. It's one of my soundtracks of the year, and I have it saved. I'm like, dude, this is beautiful. It makes me feel happy, but also really hits the emotional impacts of the movie, especially what the characters are going through in terms of friends. And the reason why I do Friends is because when you see the movie, you'll understand why I do friends because they're trying to be their friend. I'm like, all right, sometimes for other viewers, it could be a little bit repetitive, but it's not like it's overused, and it's not a bad song, and I really liked it. And by the way, did you know that Instagram or Star Cinema, they are promoting the hell out of this movie? I don't know if it's just personally for me since I started following them on Instagram after the movie of Hello Love Again, but I was like, no, I need to see what other movies they have, and they're promoting the hell out of it. I mean, yeah, the promotion material looks good, but it is a lot. You know, I was just like, all right, but still, it doesn't matter. One thing before we talk about some of the negatives is the movie on my second watch through had me and a couple of the theater members laughing at multiple points of the movie. You never lose the sense that it's comedy. They touted that it's comedy. You see from the opening cinematic, the interviews say it's comedy, so I get that it's comedy. But also there is a little bit of drama, but sometimes I feel like for other viewers, it could be a little bit too silly. And that's one of the negatives we're going to talk right now. And before I talk about this negative, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to be critical. And this might be slight spoilers for you. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what's going on exactly, but I will tell you what's happening in the scene. So basically, in the second half of the movie, there's some mercenaries that come to the Tahanan homes to try to destroy them because I guess someone owes them money. And like I told you, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I don't live over there, so I don't know what it's like, but I do understand of like not having the best. But when these hunters come, or the mercenaries, and they're not from the government, I think it's the boss is called Boyo, 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 and there is no guns. They just have bats. There's some big guys, and I guess he has a knife. And I'm really sorry. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I just thought it was weird, uncomfortable, and kind of cringe. I mean, it could be also because it's comedic, so the movie's trying to play it up for that it's just comedy. But I guess the scene is they try to attack, vandalize the Tahanan homes, and literally the neighbors or everyone there, including Sari, they're like, no, they're trying to fight them off, and I'm like, oh my god, like no, and I don't know why. I'm just like, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just like, are they knowing that it's gonna be this type of funny? But literally, the mercenaries are fighting the people who live there, and I'm just like, wow, dude, that scene. Like I'm laughing at it too because it's just so bizarre. Like you see these big guys just like fighting and they're doing this and she's climbing on top of him. I'm like, okay, so either the studio knows that it's trying to be too funny or this is just a weird scene, because if it was real life, when we talk about drama, people would have been killed. People would have been hurt. Yeah, some people end up in the hospital after this, you know, but it's like, I just can't, I don't know, I don't understand that scene, you know, and you're right. Maybe the studio knows it's just trying to be funny. It's just trying to be laughable. But still, when you're really talking about thugs coming to this, I guess because, you know, where I used to live wasn't really that good in Chicago, you know, so I understand thugs coming into destroying your home. It's not like they can't defend themselves, because I would absolutely, well, but the way it's just, it makes you feel weird. Or maybe it made me feel weird. Not like I told you, I don't live over there, but I'm just being honest and critical. Like, that scene was a little bit cringeworthy, and I'm very sorry, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I didn't understand it, you know? I get it, they're trying to protect their homes, but when you see the movie, the animation is just like, yeah, there is a dramatic part, and the music is suspenseful, but especially in the first few minutes, it just didn't feel like, I'm like, oh, this is just supposed to be played for laughs, you know? But maybe I didn't understand, like I told you, I'm sorry. And that's all I'm gonna say about it. It's just, that's the only thing that made me feel a little bit awkward, you know? I'm just like, all right, well, let's just move on. And it does. At the end of the day, look, I live in Chicago, Illinois. I'm half Filipino, so I am not trying to do this movie a disservice. I think it's a fun, good time to watch, and I will absolutely watch it again. I'm still trying to find showtimes to go watch this weekend because I watched it twice, but I don't feel like it deserves a name. Like I told you, I don't live over there in Philippines, and I've seen so many romance movies and read so many books, so maybe that's why my perspective is different. The curse thing was actually creative, unique, but other than that, this movie is fine/good. At the end of the day, I want to give this a C+ or B-. I'm somewhere in the middle. The first time I saw the theaters, I literally started writing in Cinemark theaters, like on my phone, like, you know, like, hey, this movie, this, and this, and I gave it a C+. The second time I watched the movie, it was a B-, but I'm in the middle between those two. But still, it's good enough to absolutely watch in the cinemas. And like I told you, I don't try to be mean. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, and I've said that so many times, but I don't want you to feel that I'm hating on this movie, because I'm not. I really liked it, but I don't think it deserves the best praise. You know, there's some things that I would be like, or maybe, I don't know why. You know, that's the way I feel, and I'm sorry, but hopefully, I'm still excited to see what Star Cinema and GMA Pictures talk about in the future or release. At the end of the day, if you made it this far, I really appreciate you so much. Maybe consider hitting that like button and turning on notifications so you never miss a video. And with that, take care, bye.